Hello everyone, welcome to StraightA. Dawson here, back with another video here today, and we are doing the Los Angeles Rams 2024-2025 season prediction, season analyst, whatever you want to call it this time around. And we're going to get right into the video here pretty soon. First of all, want to say, please subscribe down below, like down below, and comment down any suggestions for future videos down below. Without further ado, we're going to get right into the video straight away. We're going to be going to the Los Angeles Rams depth chart. First of all, if you see this, I do have a little bandage over my finger. I took a pretty nasty fall, so I'm pretty banged up right now, and I got a pretty bad right leg. So we're going to just kind of go about it, and if you notice any of that, then just want to let you know. So not only was I sick the other day, but now I'm injured. Great, we're really rolling. Either way, talking about the depth chart here, Matthew Stafford's still under helm. He's getting up there in age, but he's still one of the most solid quarterbacks, at least one of the most reliable quarterbacks when he's on the field. Matthew Stafford, really great. Kyren Williams, one of my favorite running backs this next season. Him and Breece Hall, I'm really excited to see a full season with the full capabilities of what this team can do. I think Kyren Williams could easily go as one of the top running backs in the league. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua as a dangerous duo, and we'll go ahead and throw Demarcus Robinson and Tutu Atwell in that third conversation. They're reliable, but whatever. We're going to be talking about Cooper Kupp and Puka proved that he can be a wide receiver one. Pure and to the point, he really held down the fort while Cooper Kupp was away, and I'm just very impressed by what he was able to do. And now Cooper Kupp will be back, and hopefully both of them can play a full season, and I think they could easily both be 1,000-yard receivers. We'll just go ahead and say that right away. I think Puka, with his youth and probably reliability, is probably going to still outpace Cooper Kupp, but Cooper Kupp in the end zone is probably one of the hardest people to beat. So Puka will maybe not get as much love in the end zone, but he's going to get that yardage, and he's going to do freaking really well. Now, I don't think he'll be as good as last year, purely because Cooper Kupp does take away some aspect of his, some of his targets, but both of them together are going to be a dangerous duo with Matthew Stafford at the helm. Jimmy G, by the way, is suspended 2 games, I think, but that won't matter because Matthew Stafford's going to play the whole damn season. That's what's going to happen. Now, the O-line. In the past, I've really shit on the Rams O-line. I'm not going to lie to you. But they are not that bad. I look at these guys, and I don't see very good players, I'll be honest with you. I don't see anybody notable, but honestly, it's kind of the good thing about what Sean McVay can do is that he's really damn good at coaching O-lines. Looking back at his previous years, I mean, I think I did see one season where they had like 59 sacks allowed, but even before seasons like that and even season after that, he's just done really consistently well of not allowing overly amount of sacks. He's allowed 40 plus, but he's usually not that much. He really hasn't allowed 50 or more too often, and I'm really impressed by how well he does. Now, maybe that's less credit to him, more so to the O-line coach and stuff like that, but this team is very good about coaching up the O-line. So while I don't think anything's going to be very, very impressive, especially with the run game for Kyren Williams, I think Kyren Williams will be doing a lot of the work himself. I think it's very possible that this O-line just is reliable, and I think that's going to be good. I just don't have any expectations of really low or really high for the Rams O-line. Then you got the defensive line, and man, Jared Verse is an addition here that I think a lot of people are hoping he can replace Aaron Donald. Nobody's going to replace Aaron Donald. Let's go ahead and say that. But he could be really damn good. Other than that, their defensive line is just good. I think this team really screams out to me that they are just solid all around. I think going from winning a Super Bowl to being one of the worst teams the previous 2 years ago and then being really good last year, I think or at least, above average, shows that this Rams team can be very, very competitive. And while I don't think that any part of their game other than their passing game and run game, so basically their offense, is their offensive weapons at least are extraordinary, this team has a very solid basis on every other aspect of the field. So I think they could do very, very well and could be that team going into the playoffs and make a big playoff run like they did, or like they maybe could have done this last season if the Lions didn't knock them off. So then you got the secondary, Cameron Curl. I really love Cameron Curl. Everybody else is fine. Tre'Davious White, I'm a little iffy about, but also he's still damn good, so I can't really give him that much discredit. So I think in coverage they'll be very, very good. They're going to run, I think, good zones. And we'll just see what happens to the secondary. I'm very, very impressed by what they can do. Looking kind of back at some of the stats here, and sorry, I realized I scrolled all the way down because I was still looking at some stats here. Matthew Stafford has consistently been pretty much above 4,000 yards. Matthew Stafford, of course, last year missed 2 games, but he almost got 4,000 yards, pretty much. So he's easily capable of getting 4,000 yards. Do I think he's going to be the best quarterback by far? No, I think he is regressing. I do think that. And I know Braden, love you, boy, big time, my previous roommate. I love Matthew Stafford. I really do. I just don't see him being the Matthew Stafford he was. if he was with the Cooper Kupp days, Cooper Kupp Triple Crown, this team would be a whole lot different. But Matthew Stafford's a little bit regressed a little bit. He's a little bit more, bound for a little bit injury. I'm not saying he will be, because I think he will play a full season, but I just don't see it. And I'm just looking. Jimmy G, of course, and Stetson Bennett are the three quarterback system. So even if Matthew Stafford does go down, we got reliable quarterbacks, but nothing that's going to really blow up the world. Kyren Williams, last season 1144 and 12 touchdowns. I think he's gonna do super fucking well. And honestly, I'm tempted to say he's gonna be like 1250 plus. I am still on the fence about it, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Then receiving game, of course, Puka 1486, and Cooper Kupp missed 5 games, 737 yards. He easily would have broken 1,000 yards, and their touchdowns are pretty evenly split. But I think it's going to be even more so split between these guys, and it's going to be even better. Now I think they have a lot of reliable guys that can get 2 to 4 touchdowns, but I don't know how much emphasis is going to really be on that. But we'll see. I could always be wrong. And I think Matthew Stafford, my guess for Matthew Stafford's touchdown percentage, or not touchdown percentage, but touchdown numbers, will be maybe a little low. But either way, let's get right into the stats to go right to it. The Los Angeles Rams. Let's go ahead and get started. I don't think Matthew Stafford's going to be that much worse. I still think he's going to be easily 3,800 yards or so in the passing game. Not going to go ahead and just say that he's not, because he's still Matthew fucking Stafford. He's still going to be fine. At the bottom, I see him hitting 3,500, as long as he doesn't get injured, of course. 26 touchdowns. It's a little bit more than last season, but again, I just think that with Cooper Kupp and Puka around, that they can be more reliable in the passing game and touchdown percentage. So we'll go with that. Rushing yards, 50 to 100. You can probably go less than 50 if you want, but it's Matthew Stafford, so I'm gonna go 50 to 100. He got like 60 last season, so I debated on being less than 50. But whatever, it shows that he can still rush a little bit, so I'm just going to go with it. He's not going to get a rushing touchdown, though. Then we'll say 10 interceptions. It's a little bit less than what he did last year, but again, I just think Matthew Stafford's still reliable, still good, and I think he's going to change up his game to be reliable in the passing game rather than just being explosive like he used to be. I think that's Puka and Cooper Kupp's job now, and Kyren Williams, it's less on him now, so hopefully he kind of takes that and runs with it, and that's kind of what I think he's going to do. With Sean McVay at the helm, I think that's going to be the logic and mindset of Matthew Stafford going forward. Kyren Williams, I didn't put him at 1250 plus because there's only got one more spot, and I just clapped because there's a fly in my face. 1250 plus because there's only one more spot, and I think I have a guy that I want to go over 1250, and it's not Christian McCaffrey. Let that be known right now. Spoiler alert: Christian McCaffrey will not be in the 1250 plus range. He probably will be in this range though, so don't be surprised. And that's for another video. 15 rushing touchdowns, so this man's a fucking beast. I think he's going to be a fucking beast, but there's one other guy I just think he's going to do way better. So I'm going to put Kyren Williams in this range, and he's going to be really reliable in the passing game, or sorry, the receiving game and the rushing game. So Kyren Williams, I'm expecting a really good season. Honestly, he could be easily 1250 plus. I'm not going to go ahead and take that away from him. He could easily be in that range, but only 2 guys usually get in 1250 plus, so give it to, give it to someone else. We'll see. Either way, next up, receiving core. If you want to find out who the other person is, go watch the previous videos. Receiving predictions: Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and Tyler Higbee. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Puka will get 150 to 200 more yards than Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp will maybe receive the same amount or 1 more or 2 more receiving touchdowns. I decided to even it up because, for one, I realized my numbers were getting really high, and I still had like 8. I still needed to cover the other guys behind him who are really reliable in the receiving game. But Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Let's go and talk about them before I talk about Tyler Higbee, and we'll move on. Cooper Kupp is going to be great in the end zone. That's going to be straight to the point. Puka's going to be good in the yardage. That's going to be my prediction for that, is because Cooper Kupp is just such a beast in breaking man and being able to be in the slot. Not slot. I shouldn't say necessarily slot because he's not really a slot guy. But I guess he kind of is. Whatever. You kind of get it. He's really good at beating his person and getting out of coverage. And I think he's going to do well in that with the end zone. Now, Puka, I just think is very reliable in open ground. I think he can easily beat defenses. I think he can read them pretty well. But I don't want to say he struggles because I just think he's not as good in the red zone as Cooper Kupp. That's kind of my thought process. He's good, but he's not better than Cooper Kupp in the red zone. I don't think, at least currently. He could easily show us up this next season. And I think they're going to have about the same receiving touchdowns. I don't know. I think that's what I could really see their roles kind of evening up a little bit. Then you get Tyler Higbee, less than 700. He'll probably get 500, 4 receiving touchdowns, maybe 3, maybe 2. I don't know, somewhere around there. Because after Puka and Cooper Kupp, it's pretty much anybody's game for receiving touchdowns at that point, and everybody will receive about 400 yards. That's kind of the logic, or at least 400 or less. So that's kind of my logic with the rest of this team here. Then we got the O-line. I'm going to say 30 to 40. I debated them putting them 40 to 50, but I'm going to say they get like 39. I lean more on 39 than 41, if that makes sense. So that means 40 gives me a benefit of doubt of like, okay, I feel good about 40. So 30 to 40 O-line sacks allowed is my prediction, though it could be easily kind of in the low 40s. Then we got sack percentages, or predictions, sorry. 40 to 44. I mean, it's just, you can look back at their previous seasons where they got 55 plus with Aaron Donald around, but they don't have Aaron Donald anymore. They're going to put a lot of pressure. They're going to do very well, but 40 to 44 is much more reasonable, predictable in the middle ground of the area. Interceptions, 11 to 13. Again, I think they're going to be good, but I just don't think they're going to be that good type deal. I think they're going to do better than last season, but probably not as good as 2 seasons or 3 seasons before. So 11 to 13, again, good coverage, but I don't know if the numbers will really be skyrocketed. Then we got their schedule. And man, I'm not going to lie to you. Here's what I've done. I went through the schedule and said they could win as few as 8 games, as many as 12. Now, obviously, I did hit a middle ground somewhere in the middle there. Now, but where did I lean? So looking at their whole division, they usually do well against 49ers, as Braden constantly tells me, but I'm still going to make them split there. I'm going to make them split with the Seahawks, and I'm going to make them go all out against the Cardinals. So 4-2 is my kind of prediction there. Packers, Vikings, Raiders. I think they can win 2 of those games, so 6-3. Then Dolphins, Bills, and Eagles. This is a game where I gave them 0-3 before, but I'm going to give them 1-2. Because I think the Eagles are very susceptible, and I think the Dolphins are very susceptible to losing. So 7-5 is the current record. Then there's 5 very winnable games, probably less so against the Lions and the Jets, but I think 3 of these games are easily winnable. Bears are going to be struggling. I kind of gave them a loss against the Bears and Lions and Jets before too, but I'll give them 3 out of 5 wins here, meaning the record is 10-7. I do think that's about right. I just think they have a very difficult season ahead of them. A lot of good teams, teams that could come out of nowhere and just do well against them as well. Cardinals, I don't think they're that bad either. I think they could easily go out and win. The rest of this, I'm just kind of looking. I'm like, I don't know. Again, this is a team that could easily be 8 wins to all the way to 12. I think they are explosive and good enough, but I almost think the Dolphins effect, where I think the Dolphins are that kind of team too, but they kind of steam out. Now the Rams didn't necessarily steam out; they kind of sped up. But will they start off really strong now that they have their full team, or will they kind of, simmer down throughout the season? I don't know. Or sorry, they'll simmer down throughout the whole season, or will they speed up again? I'm not too sure. I'm going to say they stay in the 10-win range because I think I'll get hated out otherwise. But this does push out another one. We got the Jets, the Eagles, and 49ers, 3 great teams. And one of them will not be 10-plus wins. One of them will be less than 10. And I almost put the Rams below that just because I think the Rams probably are, on paper, the team I'm least thinking is going to do well, but I decided based on schedules that there's going to be one team I think that does worse. Now, who is that going to be? You're going to check out the next videos, but before you leave, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like and comment down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. StraightA Dawson, out of here.